Today I'm going to show you how to make raised tinfoil art. When I look at this project, it reminds me a lot of stained glass windows. You may have seen stained glass windows in places such as churches, public buildings, or even in some homes. People have been decorating with colored glass for a very long time, and there are some really famous pieces of stained glass in the world. This is the rose window in Notre Dame Cathedral. This is Saguaro Forms and Cactus Flowers by Frank Lloyd Wright. This is a wisteria lamp by the Louis Comfort Tiffany Stained Glass Company. And this is St. Adelaide by the artist Kehinde Wiley. Now let's learn how to make our tinfoil raised art, which looks like stained glass when it's done. You will need a piece of cardboard, a pencil and a marker, a glue stick, some tinfoil, some colorful Sharpies, and a hot glue gun with hot glue sticks. The first thing you need to do is draw a simple picture. I like to draw something that I can fill up a lot of space on my cardboard with. I want it to go almost to all the edges. So I'm going to draw a big butterfly. Another thing to keep in mind is that you want your picture to be pretty simple, not that many lines to go over. After I've drawn with pencil, I'm going to go over my lines with marker to make it easier to see. After my drawing is planned, I'm going to bring it to the hot glue gun and go over top of my lines with hot glue. This is how you create the raised areas. The hot glue will create a bump over top of my lines. Notice how I turn my cardboard around so that I can reach the opposite side. Then I need to wait a few minutes for my hot glue to dry. I do not want the hot glue to even be a little bit wet before I do the next step. After the hot glue is 100% dry, I can take a glue stick and I'm going to put it all over the cardboard, especially around the edges and in the middle of the larger areas. The more glue you put on it, the safer things will be later. After the glue is all over the cardboard, I'm going to take the shiny side of my tinfoil facing up and I'm going to place it on the cardboard, flip the whole thing over and fold the tinfoil over the sides. If you have too much tinfoil, you can cut away some of the edges to give you a little bit less to fold over. Be gentle so you don't rip the tinfoil on the cardboard corners like I did. I'm going to stick a little bit of glue stick on the back to hold the tinfoil in place on the cardboard. After you're done with the glue, flip it over and use your finger to rub the tinfoil around where the lines of glue are. This will push the tinfoil down into the deeper areas of the cardboard, leaving little raised ridges where you drew your hot glue lines. Do this rubbing process slowly and gently. The tinfoil might try to rip if you use too much force. So you really want to be gentle and slow about it. Also, if you have a fingernail, try not to rub with that area. Use the soft part of your finger. Tinfoil will rip pretty easily, and we want to try our best to avoid that. I actually do end up having a couple of itty tiny little rips in this, but they're so small you can't see them unless you look really hard for them. After you have rubbed your tinfoil down so that you can see the shape of your picture, you can take a dull pencil, not a sharp one that's not very sharp at all actually, because we don't want to rip the tinfoil. And you can draw little designs in the tinfoil. It's just a nice detail you can add. Be careful though, because anything too pointy might rip the tinfoil. Okay, here I do something a little risky. I really want those edges of the hot glue to stand up even more. So I took the back edge of my pencil and rubbed it along those lines. That actually worked out pretty well for making those edges nice and sharp, but this is where I ripped my tinfoil a couple times. Now it's time to color. Please make sure that you use a Sharpie while coloring on the tinfoil. If you use a washable marker like Crayola, it will just wipe away and not stay. We have to use a permanent marker to color the tinfoil, which means we need to be extra careful. I'm not using a mess mat here, but maybe I should have been to keep my table safe from the Sharpie. I need to make sure I always keep the Sharpie away from my clothes, and I also want to make sure that lid gets back on it because these colorful Sharpies are super special and we want to take care of them. After I've finished coloring in the tinfoil, I am all done my raised tinfoil art drawing.